The Packers take on the Browns this week. So, RC, which defensive player is more impactful? The Packers' new star, Micah Parsons, or Browns star, Myles Garrett?
It's Myles Garrett, and it's actually not even close. And this isn't about Micah Parsons. This is about everybody in the league. Myles Garrett is the most dominant non-quarterback in football. He's unblockable in the run. He's unblockable in the pass. He has athleticism like we've never seen. He's a freak of an athlete when we talk about where you can move him to each and every position along the defensive line and never lose in the run game, never lose in the pass. There's constant pressure, and there's so many times in the first 2 weeks of this season that I've seen Myles Garrett make back-to-back series-stopping plays. If he played on a different team, if he played in a different city, we would frame the conversation around Myles Garrett the way we frame conversations around J.J. Watt and around Aaron Donald.
Okay, very good answer. I'm very pleased, but it was long. It wasn't a quick take. I just wanted to bring that out there. Just want to bring it there. It wasn't a quick take, okay? But we'll move on. We'll move on because I'm in a very good mood, and that suit is fly.
God, this is what happens when the executive producer becomes the host. This is like Shonda Rhimes acting on Grey's Anatomy.
She could do it because she's that great. But anyway, let's move on.
She lives in my town.
Oh, my God. It's time to move on now. The Bears host the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday as Caleb Williams is still searching for his first win of the season. Last week, the Cowboys won in overtime versus the New York Giants 40-37, thanks to the leg of Brandon Aubrey. Meanwhile, the Bears are coming off giving up 52 points to the Lions. Bears first-year coach Ben Johnson was asked about the Chicago Bears practice habits. Had some criticism for the Savage squad.
Our fundamentals, our finish, and our technique, they need to show up and walk through. They need to show up on the practice field. That's how it shows up on game day. Simple things of how do we properly block, how do we catch the ball, how do we block after the catch, ball security, and things like that. It's the little things that you learn in youth league football that even at this level, they make a huge difference. I think our practice habits are yet to reflect a championship caliber team.
Practice. Not a game. Not a game. Practice. RC, any issue with Coach Johnson's comments?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Ben Johnson hasn't earned that yet. He hasn't earned the right to put his team on Front Street. Ben Johnson, you were brought there to change who the Chicago Bears were, change who they were in the meeting rooms, change who they were on the practice field, change who they are on game day. And we always said, right, attitude reflects leadership. All we've heard from him since he's been there is I'm going to put pressure on people. I'm going to make Caleb Williams, I'm going to overload him, and we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Right now, I'm tired of hearing Ben Johnson talk. I want to see Ben Johnson coach. I want to see Ben Johnson make adjustments. I want to see who the Chicago Bears can be after the first 15 plays offensively. And so for me, I do have an issue with Ben Johnson because if his team isn't practicing at a high enough level, if they aren't playing and executing at a high enough level, that's on you. And so when we were talking about what our team isn't doing, the first thing that should have been said is, I'm not getting our team to do, to execute, to practice. Not they aren't doing. We are not separate. We hired you as the head coach of the Chicago Bears, not someone else.
Do you agree, D?
I absolutely love that Ben Johnson said this. Everyone is always looking for shortcuts. The shortcut is discipline. The Bears right now don't play with a certain style of discipline. And you will. The reality is, if you want to play a certain way, you have to practice a certain way. That's how sports work. And so we can run from it. And I understand like the thought of with RC of saying like, I've got to get them to do this. But I think in the context of hearing it all, he's saying we're just not doing this well enough right now. And it shows up. We all watched that tape. That defense was terrible in pass coverage. And they got 2 good players and 2 experienced players to look that way. So I love the fact that he's coming out and saying, we're not doing this good enough right now. And he's not talking to just Caleb Williams. He's talking to their offensive line and all the penalties that this offensive
So my
line.
question to you is this. You hold Patrick Mahomes to a higher standard than Ben Johnson. Because last week when we were talking about Patrick Mahomes, you say you love the way that Patrick Mahomes always accepted accountability no matter what was happening on his team when we knew Patrick Mahomes was not to blame. So you hold the quarterback to a different standard than you do the head coach. The head coach doesn't have to accept accountability for how his team doesn't perform.
I will always hold the quarterback to a higher standard than the head coach. Absolutely, because the guys on the field are following the quarterback, and they always have and they always will.
Yeah, but let me interject. Ben Johnson is a rookie head coach, because I'm siding with RC on this one, from the standpoint that you're a rookie coach, and maybe it's a bit direct, harsh, I don't know what the word is, where you're talking about, okay, he hasn't earned that yet. I understand it, but the flip side to it is this. You are the head coach. The priority is the quarterback, who was the #1 overall pick last year, for last year's season, right? The man is with his 3rd head coach, his 4th offensive coordinator. You're a rookie head coach. I don't like the fact that you brought in Declan Doyle as your offensive coordinator, because he's a rookie offensive coordinator. No knock against him, but if you've got this guy that's played 17 games and he's entering this season with his 3rd head coach and his 4th offensive coordinator, and that 4th offensive coordinator is a rookie, just like your head coach is a rookie head coach. I mean, what kind of seasoned coaching are you bringing to Caleb Williams? And then when you talk about habits for the rest of the team, like RC said, you came there to change that culture. You came there to address these very things that you're complaining about. You were supposed to be addressing this in training camp. You were supposed to be addressing this all off season. What is he talking about? He's talking about walkthroughs. Talking about practice habits. He's talking about making sure you put forth your due diligence even when he's not watching, not during a game, to make sure that you're in a position to maximize whatever potential you have. And he's saying that his personnel, there's cats on his squad that ain't doing that, Dan.
Right.
That's a big deal.
So I agree that it's a big deal, but why is it a problem that he said it? Why is it a big deal
Because
that
it's
he
his
said
job.
it publicly?
Because it's his job to make sure he doesn't have to say that.
But
why are you there? You don't coach. You ain't playing. You coach.
Okay.
It's your job to make sure they are doing that.
Just because he says it publicly doesn't mean that he's running from doing that job. And second thing is, and you know it greater than I, because you were probably around better cultures when it comes to this stuff and habits, because it takes time to establish that.
Yeah,
Dan,
I don't.
It's the second.
I in no way am saying that Ben Johnson isn't working to get a certain job.
Right.
I'm not saying that he isn't putting in the effort to get this team to be something, because we also know you get a new head coach because you had bad habits.
Right.
Habits aren't broken in the offseason. Yeah. Habits aren't broken by week 2, right? We watched the Detroit Lions, who had this huge turnaround, only win 3 games in Dan Campbell's first year.
Yeah.
But everything about what Dan Campbell said, about what he did, was an encompassing culture of us, and it starts with me. I'm not saying he's wrong for thinking this about his team.
Yeah.
There's a level of accountability when you say we have to do it differently.
So it's the way he works.
It's about starting with me, though.
Yeah.
Right? And you know this. If I start with me, I can say whatever I want to say about us.
Sure.
Because now I'm included in us. I felt like he said